I'm John Stafford. I'm president of the Interneighborhood Foundation, the developer of this project. Thank you for coming out this morning. We're not going to have rain. We're not going to have rain. We're not going to have rain. We're very excited about getting started on this project. It has been a long time. I'd like to introduce the INF board members who are here. Beverly Bell, where are you? There's Beverly. Barbara Washam. There she is. John Mitchell. And Glenn Coker is here. There is one other board member, Joel Stango, and he could not make it. He has a job. Now I'd like to introduce Randy Kunkel. Randy is the Senior Vice President, Enterprise Business and Community Engagement of the Bank of America, and he gets the prize for the longest title here in this program. Randy and the bank are really the prime movers of all three parts of this great project. They contributed all of the land, and in INF's portion have provided a significant piece of the cash funding. Randy has personally been instrumental in bulldogging the whole process. So here's Randy.
Thanks, John. Thank you. So at Bank of America, there's nothing more foundational to a family's financial well-being than access to affordable, stable housing. So when approximately 7 years ago, I was asked to find a neighborhood that the bank could adopt, we looked no further than our own neighborhood. And we knew that affordable housing had to be the cornerstone of this project. So we set out to develop a diverse mix of affordable housing options to be built on this land donated by Bank of America. Behind us, or to the side of us, you see a 44-unit rental complex called Jazz Court, which was developed by the Michaels Development Company. Across the street will soon rise Walnut Ridge, 9 for-sale townhomes being developed by Habitat for Humanity of Newcastle County. And today we celebrate the groundbreaking for the final phase, Walnut Place, 8 for-sale townhomes developed by Interneighborhood Foundation. All told, this project created 61 units of affordable housing, not to mention the direct impact of the construction work and new residents that are brought to the city of Wilmington. We're proud to partner with INF and include them in this project. As John mentioned, we provided the land and we provided grant support, along with other great partners, the city of Wilmington, JPMorgan Chase, Longwood Foundation, and this will allow INF to build townhomes to allow 8 families to realize their version of the American dream of owning a home. INF has a long history, close to 35 years of developing owner-occupied housing in Upper East Side and Midtown Brandywine. We're excited to hear about their renewed vision and for the hiring of Tim Crawlbay as their new executive director. Tim's experience in the city of Wilmington housing market goes a long way towards realizing their vision. Tim, we'd like to welcome you and say congratulations. Thank you.
A little more background on INF. INF was founded in 1981 to serve the residential communities surrounding the Hercules building, and we did serve it, rebuilding or improving many dozens of homes, generally to be occupied by their owners. During most of that time, we operated under the name Brandywine Gateway Neighbors. So if you're thinking about that as a different organization, that's the same organization. It was a trade name that we used. The board then, as it is now, was made up of the residents of the affected communities. We've recently concentrated our efforts right here on the east side, and primarily with funding from the city. We've rebuilt 11 homes in the past 4 years, right in this neighborhood. Now, with this ambitious endeavor to build 8 new homes, we are also embarked on a new vision for INF under Tim Crawlbay, who will broaden both geography and scope of INF. It's not an overstatement at all to say that there is no more qualified person than Tim to lead us in this new direction. Tim brings a powerful academic and professional background to the job, most notably 6 years as Director of Real Estate and Housing for the city of Wilmington. He's even run a nonprofit before and served on a number of boards. Please welcome Timothy Krolbe.
Thank you, John. Well, it's an exciting day for us. So glad a lot of you have braved the rain. We're going to try to hold it off for just a couple minutes. I'm going to be short. But it's amazing how really God works in your life. I sat down with, really it was with Maurice Perry, who's here from Bank of America, and Randy, maybe about 5 years ago or so, when I was serving as Director of Housing, and they had asked me to have some recommendations about a nonprofit or the like that could come in and help with this, and I had recommended INF, and so lo and behold, 5 or so years later, the service director, it's exciting for me. It's exciting because when I left the city a few years ago, part of it was sort of I had an entrepreneurial spirit to just do some other things, to engage in some other types of activities related to housing, to do some things that had to do with more analysis-oriented, feasibility-oriented. And so, having worked with INF for about the past year and a half, it really impressed upon me, one, the board's commitment. I mean, one of the unique things about INF is that it's probably one of the few nonprofits where all the board members do live in the areas that it serves. And I think that's important because it talks about and speaks to their commitment to the area. In addition, the opportunity to work with the board to develop a new vision. One of the things, if it stays up, if you get a chance, and we have another map up in the community room where we'll have some refreshments, but we're going to be expanding the target area of INF. So traditionally, INF has worked in the Midtown, Brandywine, and Eastside neighborhoods, and so we're going to be expanding that to really continue to work in those areas, but also the areas of the city east of 95 and north of the Brandywine River. We believe that's necessary because in those areas you really do not have a community-based housing organization. We think with a lot of the things that's going on with the city when you talk about the possible development of a land bank and just the overall interest in housing development and development in general, there's a great opportunity not only for INF, but to partner with other organizations. We think we bring a level of capacity that can help with other organizations, and they bring to us a knowledge of those neighborhoods. And so we think we're excited about the potential of what we can achieve, and really this just represents the first stage in that. Like any good developer, we can't tell you all the things that we're trying to work on, give you all the clues. We don't know who's eavesdropping here, but I think in the next year or so you'll be hearing a lot from INF in terms of some of the projects that we're looking at and working to develop. That being said, it's amazing. We got some of the equipment. We're ready to go with construction startup. But you will be amazed, and maybe those of you who really work in this kind of field every day aren't amazed. But for those who don't, you'll be amazed how much time and effort it takes to get 8 houses done. Randy alluded to a 7-year period overall in terms of the bank's vision for this land. But I can tell you, working on the eight properties, this was a site that was one time was a brownfield site, so there were some things that had to go through with that as far as the remediation. It's in a waterfront district, so there were special things we had to go through with that. A number of variances. I can go on and on and on. But the key is that we got here, and we're so excited about how the fact that we can move forward with this. And you can't move forward with this without a number of great partners and stakeholders who are involved. And so I just want to take just a quick moment to recognize certainly Bank of America, first and foremost, in terms of their work and working with us. The city of Wilmington, and we have a number of folks from the city who's going to speak, so I'm not going to steal their thunder. I'm going to introduce them. Chase Bank played a key role. They really helped us get over the hump in terms of funding needs. I'm not sure if Daryl Graham is here, but I certainly want to recognize him. Wishless Bank and Karen Allen, who they're going to be working with us as really a lender of choice. And so one of the things we're excited about is some of the mortgage products that we're going to be able to offer buyers here, and you'll be hearing more about that. Renee Spruill, who's my ace over there, she's our marketing person and really has been involved almost as long as I have in some respect in terms of developing a marketing plan and for the site. in-call, and it's Amy Wall, I know is here somewhere. Where's Amy at?
Over here.
Okay, Amy, thank you. Amy, in-call is going to be our construction lender, and we're pleased to say we've been able to, we haven't closed the loan, but we've finalized everything. It's just a matter of going to the closing table. And really, I also want to thank neighbors. You know, one of the things about this event is that it's meant to be a neighborhood event. We intentionally invited neighbors, put out a flyer and so forth, because hopefully they feel as strong about the project as we do. You know, the last couple of years we did try to do a number of things to make people aware of it, and so we're glad that many of the neighbors could come out. So I'm going to move forward. I see the rain come down. I got to move quick now. So I'm going to invite Miss Naila Gilliam to come up on behalf of the mayor's office if she wants to say a few words. Naila, back there.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. On behalf of the City of Wilmington Office of the Mayor, we are happy to once again be able to support a housing development project that furthers the initiatives of redevelopment of our city and home ownership in particular. My predecessor, Tim Carvey, who I've worked with for a number of years in the City of Wilmington Department of Real Estate and Housing, knows what it takes to, as he said, to get a project like this off the ground. And oftentimes we're not as able to be as hands-on as part of the projects as we have been of recent years in this administration. And I'm so happy that this administration's focus is specifically on home ownership. We actually funded the project here, Jazz Court, because we knew we were ultimately going to get home ownership units as a result of it. And so I would just like to say congratulations. We've had a long-standing partnership of development in this area with INF, and I applaud you. And I know that under the leadership of Tim Carvey, who knows the in and outward workings of the City of Wilmington, he knows how to come in. He knows we can't say things to Tim that we might be able to say to others because he's been in the position. So I just want to say thank you and congratulations on another fine project.
I do want to recognize Representative Bowden. I know she was here. Where's she at? Okay. Thank you for coming. I next want to introduce Council President Gregory, and I want to say real quick, I've had the pleasure of knowing Council President Gregory for a long time, and one thing I've always admired about him is that he brings a real practical, common sense approach to things, and he's always been a supporter in the various positions I've had of me and the work that we've done. So I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you very much. One of the things about people who are very practical and common sense is the fact that they're not complex thinkers. So we keep it simple, and that way we don't get lost in our thoughts. And on that note, I want to let you know that I know it was raining before any of you, along with Romaine Alexander and Mr. Mitchell, right? Right? So when Tim said he could see it was raining, I could feel it was raining. I want you to know that. So with that, I want to just thank all of you for being here, all the partners that's made this happen. When we think of a sustainable community and a community that's moving forward, we think about family, we think about places of worship, we think about citizens, we think about educational institutions, and we think about housing. That's what makes for a good community, a community that's going to move forward. So with that, I wanted to thank everyone for their participation. Also, on a historical note, when I came out of law school back in '79, worked for the U.S. Attorney's Office, left there and became embedded in my community. I was a member of the INF board. So it's a journey. I think that Mr. B spoke about that. I'm blessed to still be here, still participating. But the first nonprofit board that I was on was the Inter-Neighborhood Foundation. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. And I'm going to keep it simple and be practical. And I'm going to stand over there.
Before I introduce our last speaker, Councilman Darius Brown, I also want to recognize Councilwoman Dorsey. Thank you for coming out today. And I did want to say, just make one more comment and recognize Steve Martin and the Wilmington Housing Board, because one of the things I think is important to know about this project, I had the pleasure of working with Steve and co-authoring the East Side Implementation Plan, which is really a housing study to look at all of the Upper East Side going all the way down to 4th Street and so forth. And so, you know, a lot of times we do these studies and so forth, and they sit on shelves and no one knows about them. But, you know, everyone knows, I think, a lot of great work the partnership is doing on the east side is a reflection of that. Councilwoman Shabazz, who's very much involved with that. Thank you, Councilwoman Shabazz, for coming. But this project also was part of that plan. And so I do think it kind of speaks to trying to do some connectivity in terms of all the work that's taking place, and that, you know, things are not operating in a silo. So I do want to recognize Steve and the partnership board for that. So last but not least, we have Councilman Darius Brown, who represents this district. One thing I can say about Darius, we go to the same barbershop together, so you know, I know he gets tired, but every time I see him, I pull him over for about 20 minutes. He's like, man, can I get a haircut? So, so I appreciate you.
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Thank you to the INF board, to the great corporate citizenship of Bank of America, and to the citizens of the 3rd District here in the Upper East Side neighborhood that are part of the Upper East Side Civic Association. Many of them I see here that reside on Walnut Street, that have been a part of stabilizing this community and making sure that this community is the vibrant community that it has been for so many years. And so this morning we come to this place for a groundbreaking to celebrate their consistency, their dedication, and their hard work of sticking in and staying with the neighborhood, sticking and staying with this neighborhood. We talk about building better neighborhoods in the 3rd Council District, and much of that deals with a desirable housing stock. So through the work of INF, we're able to create a desirable housing stock where we can create livable neighborhoods in the 3rd Council District. So many of you that are here, if you're not homeowners, or if you're renters, consider moving into the 3rd Council District here at Walnut Place. For those that have relatives that are renting or looking for home ownership opportunities, consider moving here in the 3rd District to Walnut Place. And one of the important things about Walnut Place is that we're able to create a desirable housing stock that not only offers 3-bedroom townhomes, but also 4-bedroom townhomes to many of the residents, particularly in the 3rd Council District, that may have larger families or blended families. They need more bedrooms and more space for the families in which they have. So I want to thank Tim and the INF board for their investment here on Wilmington's east side in the 3rd District, for we are the place where opportunity lives. Thank you so much.